So
Sure.
welcome everyone. Thank you all for attending our first virtual graduate and professional expo. My name is Julia. I'm the community-based research assistant for Careerspace at Trent University. Careerspace provides an authentic outlook on the career landscape by providing Trent students and alumni with meaningful experiences, necessary perspectives, and valuable resources. We offer virtual appointments, workshops, online resources, and opportunities to connect with employers and recruiters. These services are free for all Trent students and alumni. You can visit our website, trentu.ca/careerspace, to book an appointment or to learn more about our services. We are thrilled to have a representative from Trent University Environmental and Life Sciences here with us today. Before we go ahead and get started, I do just have some housekeeping items to mention. I would ask our presenter, Linda, to just go ahead and place your contact information in the chat box for everybody now. We should have 10 to 15 minutes for questions and discussion following Linda's presentation today. Please feel free to ask your questions at any time using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. And today's presentation will also be posted to our Careerspace YouTube channel. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome our guest, Linda Cardwell from Trent University Environmental and Life Sciences, and ask that you introduce yourself, and the floor is yours, Linda.
Hi, everyone. I'm Linda Cardwell, and I am the program coordinator for the Environmental and Life Sciences graduate program. Now, I have already, I think, messed things up here for myself. What I am going to do is try and share my screen with you. Here we go. So the Environmental and Life Sciences graduate program is an interdisciplinary graduate program and one of the most established graduate programs, interdisciplinary graduate programs in Canada. And what that means is that we draw from all of the other sciences in order to provide you with a rich learning experience. So we have faculty from like chemistry and forensics and biology, from geography and the environmental side of things, and even from psychology. And this allows you to find a supervisor and engage in research in that area that you find that you really like and what really interests you. So this allows the students to work in an environment that will provide you with experience, not just while you are conducting research, but also in when you're starting to look for a position later on. And it's important that you have that opportunity to conduct one-on-one research with industry partners throughout your degree. So it's not just an internship that might last a few weeks or so. It's not just a passive engagement where you're sitting in a classroom. This is hands-on, working in the field, in the lab, conducting research with partners that are working with you from the beginning of your research until the end of your research. So what that allows you to do is we have adjunct faculty like that we've worked with since the 70s in MNRF and Environment Canada and various government agencies, both within Canada and outside of Canada. So you can work with industry leaders and work on projects and on information that is, I'm sorry, I just flipping through my things here. What it permits you to do is work and engage outside of the classroom with world-renowned faculty and industry leaders on real-world issues and real-world questions that we are engaged in right now. And this gives you the basis for working and applying for positions that you're really going to enjoy and love for your career later on. So this is a question I get asked all the time. What is it that my degree is going to give me? Well, this is what your degree is going to give you. I just took a little snapshot of some of the places where my students are working after they graduate. you know, within 6 months to a year or so. And you can see that they're working in government agencies, they're working for consulting groups, for the MNRF, for other universities, other colleges, and they're engaged in things that they really enjoy and they really want a rich career with. So that's what your degree in EnLS will provide you. And if that interests you, if conducting research interests you, you get paid to do it. We pay somewhere over $19,000 for a master's student to do their research. You do 2 half-credit courses, and then the rest of your time is working in research and in the lab and doing analysis and then writing your thesis. And what we can do is there are a couple of different options. If you are a current Trent student and you're looking at doing your 4th year honors thesis project, then you can engage in the accelerated master's option. And so you can talk to your undergraduate thesis supervisor and see if they would be willing to work with you on doing the accelerated master's. If you're in your 4th year and you would like to conduct research and do this kind of degree, then we take admissions 3 times a year. And you could literally be completed your honors in April, and before you even walk across the stage and get your diploma in June, you could be started your master's in May. So if that sounds interesting to you, or you can wait until September or January and apply that. If that sounds interesting to you, please feel free to reach out and contact me. My email's there, lcardwell@trentu.ca. And I can set up one-on-one Zoom meetings with you and we can talk about this. And I would also really encourage you to reach out to your current instructors, the faculty here at Trent, and see if they are interested and have openings in their lab for students to work with. I know that many of them do. I know that Karen Thompson and Maggie Xenopoulos and Paul Frost and Hui Dang and Kathy Eimers are all looking for master's students. And we have our M&R supervisors like Paul Jeff Bowman and Joe Northrup and Brent Patterson. They're all looking as well. So we have lots of opportunity, and you can find a lot of those opportunity on our website. And that's right there, trentu.ca /ELS. And again, I would encourage you to please reach out. And now let's see if anybody has any questions. I think we have a few minutes left, and I'd be happy to talk to you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, Linda. So just a reminder, everybody, the Q&A function is open, and we do have a few minutes left.
I don't know what it is exactly that sometimes students are wondering about, how to talk to potential supervisors. And that's always a question that I get as well. You can, on our website, there's a listing of all of our faculty, both adjunct faculty and Trent faculty. You are welcome to email any of our Trent faculty and any of our adjunct faculty to see if what kind of projects that they have going on and if they're looking for potential graduate students. And the truth is, there are a lot of faculty that are looking for students right now to conduct research. We've been awarded a lot of awards, like Erica Knoll has been recognized both nationally and internationally for her ornithology work, and we are really excited. So all of this is all open to the students.
There is a question from Megan. Do you have to work with professors from your program?
We have to, no. The answer is yes and no. So we have faculty from EnLS, but we also have what we call adjunct faculty, and they come from other graduate universities and other industry. So we require that the student have at least one Trent faculty member on their supervisory committee, but that doesn't mean that it is the only person on their supervisory committee. They can be from pretty much anywhere, and they have been. Is there anybody else that has any questions about funding or about the courses that you're required to take or anything like that? There's only 2 half-credit courses that a master's student is required to take. One of them is called Research Foundations, and if you do the accelerated master's, then you do that in your 4th year. But if you're not doing that accelerated, if you're just doing the traditional, then you can do the 1 mandatory course plus 1 other half-credit course. And that can be anything. It can be a reading course. It can be something that you and your supervisor put together. We're really open to the students working on things that they enjoy, working on things that they're interested in, working on things that they want to have a career in. Is that helpful for everybody?
I think so, certainly. While we're waiting for a couple more questions to come in, just because we do have about 10 minutes for questions if anything does come up, I have some that I can ask you actually that I think might be really helpful for students.
Sure.
So you mentioned funding, so I would really love to go off that. What types of financial aid are offered and what are the criteria for choosing the recipients?
Sure. We have, so the program itself has a minimum funding requirement, and it's somewhere around 19.5 or 19.8. I haven't looked at that because it's a combination of what's called a GTA, a graduate teaching assistantship. And so most Trent students that are doing undergraduate teaching or courses right now will find that the TAs in their classrooms are probably TAs from my program. And so then what happens is the supervisor provides a research fellowship award as well. And then there are scholarships and bursaries, both there's some within the program, and that grad studies has exclusively for graduate students that you can apply for.
That's great. Sorry, I was muted. We do have another question from
Sure.
Megan. What are the steps involved in the application process?
So it's fairly simple. The same as what you did for the undergrad. You go through to OUAC and you put together your application there and you submit. But prior to that, I would really encourage you to reach out to talk about potential supervisors, because that's the key. You're going to be working one-on-one with this person, so you want to have somebody that you really enjoy working with. So let's say you're interested in working with Julian Ahern because he's fantastic, or Sean Watmo, or one of them. I would email them first and talk to them about being a potential supervisor and start there and then apply to the program. You're welcome to apply to the program. I can always reach out to potential supervisors with you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Megan, for your questions. If there's any kind of follow-up questions that you have, feel free to type them in the chat. I can also give you speaking permissions if you wanted to ask questions that way. And we do have we still have some good time here. So I do have other questions if nobody else does. And if you all do, then I will obviously answer those first. What does an ideal candidate for this program look like?
They have to be, the ideal candidate is always somebody who's excited about science, who's excited about asking the questions, who's excited about conducting research, who really wants to be engaged in a career later on that isn't just necessarily in an office. They want to ask the questions and find the answers. And that is really what all supervisors are looking for when they're looking for a student to work with. They want somebody who wants to do science. It doesn't mean that you have to be, you know, a 95% student. It means that you need to be and want to be engaged in conducting research and asking and answering the questions. And you have to write a thesis. So you have to understand that along with all the fun, there is the analysis and the writing part. And nobody wants to talk about that.
Does the department prefer applicants immediately out of undergraduate programs, or do they prefer applicants with work experience?
We like both, actually. So students who come directly from undergraduate programs are usually already excited and want to just continue to finish their and receive their master's. And students who have got work experience and have been in the workforce for a while, they understand that sometimes it's important to have to get their further education, to get their master's, to be able to apply for positions that are of a bit of a higher order. And I remember working on some stats with Statistics Canada, and they said that the difference between a student with an undergraduate degree and one with a master's degree, they receive about 30% or more in funding in their wages. So it's not just for 1 year after you get a job, but it's for 30% for every year afterwards. So receiving your master's is always beneficial in the end, or it seems to be.
Thank you. We have another question from Tyler. Is there a handy location to search for a consolidated list of external adjunct professors that have more relevant research background to your topic of interest than what is available at Trent?
Sure. Well, yes and no. So on our website, you will see there is a list of both faculty and adjunct faculty. So those adjunct faculty are with EnLS, and they work with our students, and the majority of the MNRF people that are on campus, they also supervise our graduate students with real life questions that the MNR is trying to answer right now. So you should be able to find that on our website. And Tyler, if you have somebody specifically or an area of research that you're wondering about, you're welcome to contact me, and I can hopefully set you up with somebody.
Thank you again. I'll probably do maybe one more question and then see if there's anybody else and then wrap up. So what is I think we got another question. Let's do that one first. From Duncan, regarding writing your thesis, is this often a topic presented to the student from the professor, or is the student able to present an idea to the professor?
So as with science, as with the program and bureaucracy, yes and no. So yes, you're always encouraged to bring your ideas to your supervisor about what it is that you want to study. Sometimes how that looks is they have received funding to look at a specific area of research, but because we're interdisciplinary, it's at that crux of what are you interested in, and let's develop a project and a thesis surrounding what it is that we're researching and what it is that you would like to research. So we marry those two things together many times. Sometimes the supervisor has something very specific that they are looking for a student to research. But many and most times this is what the area that we're looking at researching, and you want to research something specific, and it's probably within that area.
Thank you again. I'll do one more. What is the relative importance of admission test scores, undergraduate grades, recommendations, admission essays, experience, and other requirements?
That's a multi-part question. But anyway, what it is so every graduate program, or every program period has an average that they want. So on your last 10 university credits, the admission average to get into EnLS is 77%. That doesn't mean that if you're below that, we won't consider your application. We will, because again, it's about who's excited, what have you done, why were your grades below that? There could be a million reasons. And then if you're above that, then there could be entrance scholarships. There are things like NSERC scholarships that you can be applying for that are worth like $10,000, $15,000. So it's like all of these things, the higher your grade average, then you can apply for various things like that. I hope that's helpful. And just an aside on that, if you have any questions with regards to things like scholarships, big scholarships, and that type of thing, you can reach out to the scholarships and bursaries officer in graduate studies, and her name is Jane Rennie, and that's Jane Rennie at trentu.ca. And Jane can help you talk to somebody or give you the information that you need to talk about scholarships and bursaries and finances. She's really good at that.
Thank you. I don't see any other questions in the chat box. So with that, I will remind everybody that Linda's contact information is in the chat box, but her email is also just lcardwell@trentu.ca. Thank you so much, Linda, and to our students in attendance today for taking the time to learn about graduate opportunities with Trent ENLS. So we invite you to attend our Trent Graduate and Professional School Expo being held November 13th from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. To register, visit trentu.ca/SEP and click on the November 13th hold the date.
Thank you, everybody, for this opportunity, and I look forward to talking to anybody who has any more questions. It was nice to see you, Julia.
Great to see you too. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.